Hey everyone, and congratulations to the people of the UK for your major electoral win and victory over the elites who have spent the last 3 years denying you your ability to exit the EU. The results are overwhelming, undeniable, and a reflection of the genuine will of the people of the UK, or at least the majority of the people of the UK, who wanted their sovereignty back. I know not a whole lot of people watch my channel over in the UK, but based on my analytics, there is a small group of people who are not just subscribed to the channel, but who do watch the videos. So for that small group of you, like I say, congratulations from Canada. As a libertarian, I'm all about sovereignty, and I'm proud to see, and I'm somewhat inspired by the fact that the people of the UK showed that they're not willing to just roll over. That's the thing, the elitists, the central planners, the authoritarians, the hacks in the media, and the bureaucratic state, they tried everything possible for the last 3 years to deny the results of that Brexit referendum. For 3 years, the people of the UK have had to endure an amazing amount of uncertainty, insults, and backlash for their wish to be sovereign people once again. But unlike Canada, the people of the UK, just like the people down in the United States, they've still got a lot of fight left in them. And they brought that fight to the forefront to send that message to the elite that, yeah, you don't control us, we control ourselves. Our destiny is in our hands. So congratulations once again. Now there's lots of articles, everybody's talking about this stuff. You know, people in the established media, the alternative media, and basically anyone with a microphone and a webcam. But for this particular video, I'm going to be referencing an article out of Spiked, contributed by Brendan O'Neill. He's been an excellent spokesman and advocate for Brexit for quite a while himself. And kudos to you, Brandon, for sticking true to your fight, not just for freedom of speech, but for the respect and sovereignty of the people of the UK. Headline out of Spiked, The Revenge of Democracy. Yesterday's election was a people's revolt against the Remoaner tyranny. This being reported by Brendan O'Neill, December 13th, 2019. So now we know. Now we know what happens when you declare war on democracy. Now we know the consequences of demeaning the largest democratic vote in a nation's history. Now we know what becomes of a political class that sneers at voters, silences their democratic voice, and libels them as racist, xenophobic know-nothings who cannot be trusted with stewardship of the nation. You get punished. You get rebelled against. You get replaced. Last night, in those extraordinary election results, we witnessed the revenge of democracy. You don't have to be a fan of Boris Johnson or his withdrawal treaty to appreciate the significance and even brilliance of yesterday's events. The results are striking, historically so. Labour suffering one of its worst results in decades, the Tories winning a powerful majority, which, in the final days of the campaign anyway, not many people were predicting. Most striking of all has been the corrosion, collapse in fact, of Labour's red wall. That historic terrain of red constituencies stretching from North Wales through northern England. Well, it's not red anymore. Brick by brick, it has fallen, with vast swaths of people who have voted Labour for decades turning to the Tories this time. Stockton South, Darlington, Wrexham, all Tory seats. Even saying that sounds strange. Bolsover, held by Dennis Skinner since 1970. The year I was born. That's a long time, folks. Not that I want to make myself any older than I am, but hey, yeah, 49 years, that's a long time. Now has a 5,000 plus Tory majority. Former mining towns that have long loathed the Tories, Bishop Auckland, Sedgefield, have turned blue. Bishop Auckland's Tory MP, 25-year-old Hull-educated Dehenna Davison, is the first it's had in its 134-year history. Don Valley is gone too, despite MP Caroline Flint's best efforts to warn her party that its betrayal of its working class, Brexit-bucking voters would cost it dear. The wall hasn't only been breached, it's been torn down. The red wall collapse is the most significant telling event in this election because it speaks clearly and profoundly to the revolt-like nature of yesterday's ballot box rejection of the Remainer elites. These working class communities were at the sharp end of the elites' seething contempt for Brexit voters. When you heard liberal elite EU lovers or the performative radicals of the bourgeois Corbynista movement bemoaning the low-information, demagogue-swayed sections of society who had apparently been misled into backing Brexit. This is who they were talking about. The good people of Blackpool South, of the Vale of Clyde, of Workington. All Tory seats this morning. That poisonous contempt was aimed most directly at these people. And now these people have responded. They have returned the contempt that has been heaped so heavily on them these past 3.5 years. I just got to say, folks, before I read any further, and I will read a little bit. It's quite an interesting article, to be honest with you. But I will just say, look at the U.S., our southern neighbors, under Trump. I mean, they're fighting hard, right, to gain back the recognition and the acknowledgement that, no, they're a sovereign state. They're a sovereign country. Not that I'm a big fan of sovereign countries or sovereign states. As a matter of fact, I want that kind of sovereignty to be broken down all the way down to sovereign individuals. That's where true liberty, true individual liberty, that's where that path leads. But at the very least, like I say, they're traveling in the general vicinity or direction of sovereignty, which is why I'm a big backer and supporter of all of them. Even the Scottish referendum. I actually hope that the Scottish people, they're threatening that now, because the SNP, the Scottish Nationalist Party, had an amazing result as well. They want to go sovereign themselves. I'm for it. Hey, I'm all for it. Matter of fact, Ireland. I mean, the Republic of Ireland is already independent. But hey, even Northern Ireland. Hey, either join your Republican brothers and sisters or go on your own yourself. Sovereignty is a great thing and should never be deemed otherwise. But like I say, U.S., yeah, they're trying to get their sovereignty back. They're trying to establish themselves once again and separate themselves from this global collective monstrosity of this, like I say, what these central planning elitists have been doing, basically trying to turn us all into what one big global communist shithole. But no, at least, like I say, at least they're all trying, the Americans and the British people, and even down in Australia, like they're trying all their best to get a grip on enough power where they can maintain some semblance of sovereignty and not be sold up the river to the highest bidder or to the globalist elitists who seem hell-bent on socially and economically enslaving the entire world. I'm inspired. I get a great sense of pride, and I'm not even British and I'm not American, but I try to live today vicariously through their experience and what they're trying to do. Because, well, basically I have to. Because in Canada, I got none of that. I can't look to Canada or the leaders, whether they're federal or provincial, anyone in politics, the media class, even most of the sheeple or the people, whichever way you want to look at it, they all seem to be, or not all, sorry, but at least a majority or a plurality of the Canadian population, they seem to be unwilling to fight for their sovereignty, for their liberty, for their freedoms. I don't know what has happened in this country. Well, I mean, there's a lot of history. I don't want to get into that here. I've covered it in my past videos. If you want to get into this whole, the psychological aspect of Canada never truly leaving the monarch, right, and all that. I mean, lots of stuff there, right, that definitely affects the philosophy and the psychology of all Canadians. I know that, but I would have thought, and I mean, we were at least heading down that path, being America's northern neighbor, that we were trying to get towards being more sovereign, respecting the individual and the social and economic liberty that all brings and entails. But like I say, for some reason, Canada is now on a completely divergent path compared to our other English-speaking counterparts in the Western or developed world. Under the Trudeau Liberals, or even the Conservatives, headed by Week Shear, which, whether he had a won or lost, to me, as far as I was concerned, Trudeau Liberals or Shear Conservatives, we were both, or should I say, we were all going to head down that same path of more collectivism, of more central planning, of more selling off our sovereignty to the global elites. And unfortunately, we're still on that path. I hang my head in shame on a regular basis for that fact. Why, oh why, do Canadians have to be so far behind the times and late to the game? I don't know, but it's been that way for a long time. And Canadians seem unwilling to change. But it will happen someday, that I can assure you. What's left of this country when it finally starts heading down that path? I don't know. That's anyone's guess at this point. The Red Wall revolt against Labour feels era-defining. This is working people rejecting the foul old idea that they would vote for a donkey so long as it was wearing a red rosette. This is ordinary people rebelling against the neo-aristocracy of the woke, identitarian middle class, who have hijacked the party their forefathers founded. And this is an uprising against anti-democracy. For more than 3 years, the political class has agitated against the largest democratic vote in our history. They have used every legal and parliamentary trick in the book to thwart or delay Brexit. And now the people have passed their judgment on this disgraceful behavior. Democracy's payback. Well said, Brandon. Well said indeed. And like I say, once again, congrats to the people of the UK for your hard-fought battle to gain back your sovereignty. I hope someday Canadians will do the same. I'll place a link to this article in the description of the video below, and if you want to, please do check on the rest of it, read through it. Great, like I say, great article, Brandon O'Neill. And yeah, check out Spiked Magazine. I believe, yeah, it's a magazine. Check it out. Like I say, the big proponents, a lot of the contributors, big proponents of freedom of speech. And it does come out of the UK. It's UK based, but hey, like I say, in the English speaking world, there are a lot of similarities happening and playing out before our eyes. Paying attention to what's going on in each prospective country will keep you better informed and up to date regarding where the minds of the masses are and how things are going in their battle for sovereignty and their battle for liberty. It's Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.